Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well and having a fantastic week. Today's video, I thought I would give you an update on Scampi and Olive, our two latest rescue conures. I've got a few big projects in the works with some highly requested videos, so I thought today I would just do one that I can just sort of talk as we go along, like we're having a chat, and I can tell you how they're getting on, because I do get a lot of questions about how they're doing, and I thought I'd just let you know, because if you're considering taking on a rescue parrot, there are lots of things you may not realise about the behavioural challenges and how they get on as they go along in your home. So I thought I'd let you know how they're doing, and I thought maybe we would start with Scampi. So for those of you who are new to my channel, this is Scampi. He is a yellow-sided green cheek conure, and we rescued him, as I said, at the end of last year. Now he is just over a year old, and yet we are his fourth home. Yes, I know, don't like that, do you? But we are his forever home, even with all of his challenges. You may have seen my video, which was our first week with Scampi, which was a really interesting experience to document. I'm really glad that we did that. And it shows some of the issues that we found when we came into contact with him. So if you want to have a look at that, I'll leave a card at the top and a link in the description. But he was a handful. He was a biter, and a very hard biter at that. He had some separation anxiety because, of course, when you bring any bird home to your home, when you have other birds, you have to quarantine them, and he did not enjoy being in another room when he could hear us with the other birds. So he would scream, and obviously we don't want to reinforce that, so that was really tricky for us as owners, because we don't want to hear our bird sort of unhappy at the fact that he's having a little bit of time away from us and not happy about it. Also, if you want to see something that made me cry, David made a video called Scampi's Story over on his channel. Again, I'll leave a link to that, and it was just a really sort of heartwarming, like Scampi realising this is his forever home and that we love him, and yeah, I cried my eyes out. So if you fancy a cry today, a happy cry, go and check that out. So since he has been with us, he has just come on leaps and bounds. He is the most incredible flyer out of all of our flock. He is so skilled, and we like to play hide and seek with him. So we will run and hide in one of the rooms in the house, and we'll say Scampi, and he'll come and find us and fly around, and he'll peep and he'll get so excited, and it's brilliant exercise and mental stimulation for him. So that's really cool, and that's something that he's fantastic at. He's also brilliant at training in general. We've trained him to spin and target. We're also training him harness training at the moment, because he's really receptive to it. So if it comes to the point where he is harness trained, of course I'll do a video on that. I find a lot of harness training videos on the internet are kind of just shove the harness on your bird and off you go, and it really needs to be more of a cooperative experience. So we're doing that. It's going to take some time, but I'm really excited to show you and maybe go on some adventures with little Scampi. And also he is very cuddly. He's kind of chosen me as his human. We do promote the 60-40 rule of making sure that our birds don't take a really strong preference to either me or David, but there is always going to be some preference there. For example, I feel like Chip, Pickles and kind of Olive prefer David, whereas Scampi and Fish are more sort of preferable towards me. But as I said, all of our birds love both of us, and we spend equal amounts of time with all of them. But he is becoming really, really cuddly with me, and it's adorable, and not too cuddly that it's hormonal, but it's nice to be wanted, isn't it? And he's just such a funny little beast, and he's crawling in and out of my hair, aren't you? And he makes the cutest little peeps. But yeah, they're the nice things about what we've discovered about Scampi, but he does have some challenges as well. For example, okay, we're just pooping on the floor, excellent. So for example, he is obsessed with all of the other birds, and when I say obsessed, I mean he likes to try and fly to them and climb all over their cages. And if you know anything about conures, you'll know that they are very bitey, and they don't really like to be harassed by other conures. So we have got to the point now, for safety reasons at the moment, where we're having to place towels on top of Olive and Pickles' cages to stop him getting bitten and to stop them getting bitten, because we're still in the bonding process. If you've seen our cage setups, you'll know, and of course from our other videos, that our setups are temporary at the moment. We are hoping to bond at least 2 of our conures together, and they can go into an Oregon flight cage like Chip and Fish have, and then if the other one doesn't bond up with any of the others, that's fine, we're going to get a big cage too. But we don't want to go out and get these whacking great cages, separate them, and then try and put them into each other's cages, because that's just going to promote sort of territorial behaviour. So that's what we're doing at the moment. We're working on bonding. We think that Olive and Pickles are the most likely candidates for bonding, but we're gonna have to wait and see. So Scampi also came to us with a food guarding behaviour, which we are trying our best to discourage too. He gets quite possessive over metal bowls, and he'll shout at us and he'll try and bite at us when we are changing his food. So we're working on that with targeting and stationing, but it's just another additional behaviour. Quite often when birds come home for the first time, they can be quite timid and quiet, and you think, oh great, I've got myself a nice calm parrot. And it's not until a while afterwards that you realise some of the challenging behaviours that you've got yourself into, which is why rescue parrots aren't necessarily the right option for everyone, and you really have to do lots of research about whether you could handle some of these extreme behaviours, because they may not come up, but they might do, and you have to be prepared for any kind of situation because you just don't know how it's going to go when they come home. But overall, we are so glad that Scampi has joined our family. He's so full of character and personality, and he makes us laugh every day, don't you? And when you're being cute, you're being so cute. Yes, you are. So that's just a little update on him. He's doing really well, but we have got behaviours that we are working on to try and get him into a more calm state and less bitey, and just generally more well behaved around the other birds, because he also likes to harass chip and fish. That's where he keeps flying off to. He likes to sit on top of their cage and just peep at them, really. So that is Scampi's update. If you have any questions about him, leave them in the comments below and I can answer them. But he's doing so well, and he's eating all of his fresh foods and just generally being a little cutie pie. So now we're moving on to Olive. Now Olive is a turquoise green cheek conure, so she's the same species as Scampi and Pickles, but she is a different colour, and I don't think you can hear her, but she's just chatting away when I'm chatting, which is quite funny. Olive was what we kind of referred to as like a private rescue, so she wasn't from a rescue organisation. I think I forgot to say, but Scampi was from Safe Haven Parrot Refuge. I highly recommend them if you're looking to rehome a parrot. Olive was kept in a not so good situation in her very first home, with her third home, where she was kept in a tiny cage and she was never let out. Her wings were clipped, and again, David's got another video that made me cry on his channel about Olive's story if you want to go and take a peek at that. Now she was taken on by a pet shop who just wanted to get her out of that situation, and then we took her on. And unfortunately, I think perhaps we were given a bit of a misinterpreted idea of what Olive was in terms of her behaviour, because we were told that she was step up trained and she was super cuddly and just really chilled out, and that was not the bird that we brought home. She doesn't know, well, she didn't know how to control her bite force, she didn't know how to step up. Obviously when you bring a bird home, there's going to be changes in the behaviours. For example, they're not going to behave with you like they did in their previous home because everything's different. So as I said, when we brought her home, she was totally different to how she was described to us. She bit both of us quite hard, and also I think that perhaps her precursors to biting had been ignored because she wasn't giving a lot of body language to suggest that she was going to bite, other than the point where she lunged and bit us. So that was fun. The one thing they were accurate about is that she loves to dance, and it's really funny, and she loves the attention and all the fuss. The other thing that was challenging with her is that she was scared of the dark, and you think, oh, it's okay, we can give them a nightlight. But even a nightlight didn't work for her. So for the first couple of months when she was here, she had to sleep in our bedroom every night. So we would have to keep moving her from the bird room to our bedroom because we had to have much more light than we had in the bird room, because obviously we want our guys to have enough sleep. But she was terrified. She would freak out and scream and run around the cage and be really distressed. So it took a long time of training to get her to the point where she wasn't afraid. Now you may also see that she is on a perch at the moment. We are working on stepping up training with her, and she's doing really well, but she really likes to bite flesh, whether it's my neck or my arm or anything, she will try and bite. So we like to be careful with her, and she's also really comfortable in this perch. It's a safe place. She goes there if she's a bit unsure, so we have this as an option for her, and she really likes it, so that's what we're going with at the moment. And we will get her to the point where she can just step up on her hands and be comfortable in there, but it's a long process. It's not something that you can just solve overnight. When we brought Scampi home, he was quite similar in the fact that he bit, but he could have more control over his bite force, and we would kind of sleeve our hands, so our hand would be all the way up in our jumper sleeve, and we could get him to step up that way. And now we don't have to do that. He'll step up onto our hands. We'll get the odd bite because he gets overstimulated, but he is so much better. And we're going to get to that point with Olive as well, but we need to go at her pace because every bird is different, and that's something that you need to consider when bringing a bird home. You can't base it on anything you've seen online, on our videos for example, or any other bird on social media. Now, as I said, Olive has gotten over her fear of the dark. She now does sleep in the bird room, which is absolutely fantastic. And one other brilliant thing about her is she will eat anything. So she loves her veggies, her sprouts. Are you chatting with me? And she even tried nuts today, which my birds don't eat nuts. I think they're the only parrots in the world that don't enjoy nuts. But she's just trying everything, which is fantastic because it means that we can really easily give her a fresh diet. And as well as her step up training, we are working on flight training with her. She is fairly poor at flying. I think her wings were clipped previously because she's got a few flight feathers that look like they've been clipped, and she's not very confident. She'll fly if she's spooked, but she won't do it for enjoyment or for exercise. So we're working on that, and she is so receptive and it's brilliant. I'm so happy I could cry because she just loves it so much. So we're working on that, and she's also doing some fun tricks with David, like the ring toss and tidy up training too. So she's always learning. All of our birds love training. And it's one of the best things that we enjoy when spending time with our birds is training and getting them mentally stimulated both in the cage and out the cage. And as I said, she's hopefully going to bond up with Pickles based on the behaviours we've seen, because they don't really lunge for each other when they're out. They're quite chilled out. So we'll have to wait and see. But again, it's going to be a process, and that's absolutely fine. These birds are a big commitment, and we knew that when we took all of them on. So we're more than happy to go at their own pace and make sure that they are happy and healthy. And you took that a bit too hard, didn't you? You're getting very excited. You can see my training pouch down here, which is quite funny. And lastly, one of the other things she does, which is very cute but I have to be very careful of, is cuddles. In the last sort of week or so, she has decided that she likes to cuddle me, which is really adorable, but I have to be careful because she does like to bite occasionally. She will go under my chin or on my neck, and she'll just sit there and be really cute and cuddly. And pretty much from the get-go, when we kind of learnt her body language and what she was asking us, she would put her little claw up to her head and she would do this, and that would mean that she wanted scritches. And I'll put in some clips, I think I have some, of her enjoying her scritches. She basically asks when she wants to be scritched. She'll just put her claw up, do that, and then we'll know that she'd like to be scritched. So that's really adorable, and that shows, even with some of her other kind of undesirable behaviours, that she is really comfortable with us and that she is happy to have all these cuddles and scritches and enjoy our company, which is fantastic. I hope you enjoyed hearing how Scampi and Olive are getting along, and let me know how you're doing in the comments as well, how you and your birds are. If you don't have any birds, let me know how you're doing as well, as I'd love to hear from you. And of course, as usual, if you have any video requests or suggestions, leave them down in the comments below, because I always want to make content that not only I enjoy, but that you guys enjoy as well, because I'm so grateful for all of my subscribers. I'm almost at 2,000 subscribers, which is kind of crazy. And if you aren't subscribed yet, it'd be super awesome if you could consider subscribing to my channel, because I make so much parrot content. You may find something quite enjoyable. So thank you so much for watching again. Take care and see you later.